to another episode of New Release Tuesday. My name is Liz, and today we're going to reference a lot of Arrested Development because I just finished watching season 4. Yes. Of Triton by Anna Banks, in which Emma is the long-lost granddaughter of Poseidon, and she is half human, half mermaid? I'm not sure. It just says that she's from Sirena, and so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm a monster! Goddess by Josephine Agalini, and this is in the Star-Crossed series, and this girl has somehow released the gods from their locked up prison of Olympus, and she has to kind of get them back there before they start a huge war and, you know, take revenge on the people that imprison them. Uprising by Jessica Therian, and this is another one of the, you know, Greek god kind of things. We're going on a roll of those. But this is about a girl named Elise, and this is the second book in the series. The first book is Oppression, and she has found out recently that she's a descendant of a Greek god, and she's dealing with that. But in this one, she is kind of finding herself heading one of the sides of a war. There's the council, and then there's the descendants, the other descendants. They didn't really name themselves, but basically you've got the bad guys who are on the council, and then there's the good guys, which is with the part that she's leading. And so intense stuff. Wild Awake by Hilary T. Smith, and this is about what goes on in real life when the parents leave home and the teenager stays, the teenager stays at home, parents leave. And no ostriches were hurt in the making of this novel. Death Dickinson and the Demented Life of Frenchie Garcia by, what is her name? Jenny Torres Sanchez. The title alone is long enough. You have 3 names. It's not your fault. Basically, Frenchie, she spends this one night adventuring with this guy that she has had a crush on. Basically kind of like Paper Towns, but the next day the guy commits suicide. So she has this kind of demented way of dealing with it, both with reading a lot of Dickinson, but also trying to recreate that night with one of her friends. Sky on Fire by Emmy Leyburn, and this is the sequel to Monument 14, a lot of post-apocalyptic survivor, who can you trust kind of thing. Girl with the Iron Touch by Katie Cross, and this is very much a steampunk novel. It's the 3rd book in the series. And this girl, she has kind of choices, and one of them is to kind of help this evil guy basically rise from wherever and you know, play with some automatons. And the other option is to let some people she cares about die, and so of course, you know the old saying, I don't know the old saying. And that's why you don't trust automatons. Openly Straight by Bill Konigsberg, and this is supposed to be like funny, real-lifey kind of stuff, in which this kid Rafe, he has been out since the 8th grade, openly gay, that kind of thing, and because everybody makes an issue about it, and is like, that's the gay guy, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go to a new school, start something fresh, and people can know me as just Rafe. And he goes on to explain that it's not to be like back in the closet or anything. He's just like, I just want to be a guy. Just want to be a person. And so, and then there's an incident at his new school in which a student breaks down, and didn't really explain why he breaks down or anything like that, but I assume it's something to deal with his sexuality or bullying or something like that. And so Rafe kind of comes out with his story and kind of connects with this guy. The Distance Between Us by Cassie West, and this is about a girl who makes a lot of assumptions about rich people until she becomes friends with one of them. Surprise! When You Were Here by Daisy Whitney, and this is about a guy named Danny who's valedictorian, his best friend is a dog, ex-girlfriend just broke up with him, mother just died of cancer after 5 years of going through the circles, and she actually had land or a house or something like that in Tokyo because that's where her treatments were taking place. And so Danny goes in search of that home and becomes friends with this girl out there, and also kind of figure out who his mom was and what she was going through, at least for the last a couple months of his life, because yeah, they were, I assume they were close, but at the same time, like, the last couple months were like, you didn't know what she was up to, that kind of thing, when you're busy with school, you know. things happen. The Wall by William Sutcliffe, and this one is supposed to be parallel with some of the West Bank kind of stuff going on in Israel? Yeah, but anyways, this kid Joshua, hey, nice name, he moves to this town with his mother and stepfather, in which there is a wall around the town and they're living in brand new houses, basically a brand new way of life, and the wall is heavily guarded. It's very hard to get in and hard to get out without going through security checkpoints and things like that. I have the needle, I have the... yeah, okay. Anyways, so yeah, and Joshua, so many names. Anyways, this kid, he finds a tunnel underneath the wall and is surprised to find out what is on the other side. Siege and Storm by Lee Barduga, and this is the highly anticipated sequel to Shadow and Bone. I loved that book. It was so good in like every single way. It's like high fantasy kind of stuff, set in a fictionalized version of like Russia kind of thing. Anyways, this girl, she, because of all the crazy things that happened in the first book, she's running away with this guy named Mal, and they're trying to find a different way of life. Cause, you know, take to the sea! You Look Different in Real Life by Jennifer Castle, and this is about a girl and I guess her group of friends, or maybe everybody she's in class with. Every year there is a movie made about them, and so every year, you know, new things come up and things like that, and apparently there's, you know, more than meets the camera lens. Over You by Amy Reed, and this kind of is real-lifey kind of stuff. I thought it was really interesting, the summary, because it's kind of like a codependent relationship in which there's one girl who's kind of like the A personality and the other girl's kind of a B personality, but when this other guy is thrown into the mix, and kind of, you know, not messes things up, but the B personality kind of girl is like, hey, peace out, A girl. I'm gonna go hang out with this guy, and so it's kind of like, what up? And I thought this was pretty interesting because of that, because like you don't see that very often in young adult fiction very much, that there's like dependency among friends. It's usually like the dependency in the like romantic relationship. So I was like, that's really cool that there is like another kind of version of that, because it gets kind of boring with the romantic kind of stuff. So yeah. Phoenix by Elizabeth Richards, and this is the sequel to Black City, in which Ash is now Phoenix, but he's still also kind of called Ash, and things happen, and repercussions, and yeah, I feel like I would spoil this book if I... It's one of those books that it seems like it would be spoilery if I didn't read the first one. So yeah. The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen, and this is another highly anticipated novel from Sarah Dessen, from somebody this week at least. And so basically this one is about a girl who has led the perfect life, lives in a perfect beach town, has the perfect boyfriend, perfect dad who wants her to go to an Ivy League college, and she's like, and she meets this new guy who is in town because of a documentary filming. And, yeah, he's like, hey, let's hang out. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff, let's hang out. And she kind of, again, throwing the wrench. Everybody's throwing a wrench in novels these days. Not real wrenches, just metaphorical lifestyle explosion. But yes, this seems like a good, interesting one. I haven't heard too much about this one. I don't know why. It's just like everybody's like got mixed feelings about this one, and so we shall see. We shall see. Rules of Summer by Joanna Philbin, and this one is about two girls who, one's a rich girl, one's a poor girl, and they're living in the same summer house for some reason or another, and they actually have an unlikely friendship come out of it. Witchfire by Laura Powell, and this is kind of like CIA meets witch folk people. Tempest Revealed by Tracy Deebs, and this is the third book in the Tempest series in which there are mermaids. Crushed by Sarah Shepard, this is the 13th novel in the Pretty Little Liars series, and pretty short reads, pretty quick reads, and so you might want to check that out for your summer reads if you're wanting to check up or get, yeah. But anyways, you know, stakes being risen, more risks taken, more things put aside, like Hannah apparently wants to run for prom queen, but has to kind of put that on a back burner in order to get close to one of A's victims, and of course, you know, as many steps they take forward, A takes like 12 times those steps to be like, haha, I'm ahead of you always. So yes, I'm excited to see what happens. Yes. Rebel Spirits by Lois Ruby, and this one is about a girl who lives in Gettysburg and the spirits of Civil War veterans still floating around, still creeping about. Elegy by Tara Hudson, and this is about a girl who she's living in the afterlife. Easy breezy, beautiful. But the dark side wants her to come help them collect souls. Stormbringers by Philippa Gregory, and this is about, this is in the series Order of the Darkness, and it is set in Italy in the 1450s, and so, of course, queen of historical fiction, you gotta check it out. The Impossibility of Tomorrow by Avery Williams, and this is the second book in the Incarnation. Yes, that series. And this girl, Serafina, she has been living for centuries and kind of tired of her boyfriend. Kind of tired of him. It's just overbearing. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go switch some bodies. And basically, to be in order to live for centuries, you know, you have to take the body of somebody who's living. And so, in order to do that, you have to basically take their life. And so, you know, gotta make some choices. Abandoned by Lena Johnson, and this is the Thinkers versus the Rebels, and this is the third book in the series, and there are people with weird names and fighting. Title by Amanda Hawking, which is the third book in the Water Song series, in which Penn and Lexi want to kind of take away Gemma and replace her with another mermaid or siren, and in order to break this curse, she needs help from her friends. So that is all for this week's New Release Tuesday. Hope to catch you next week, and let me know below which books you're looking forward to reading this week.